गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो
शारदा शारदां भोजवदना वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं सन्निधिं क्रियात् या देवी सर्वभूतेषु बुद्धिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् आर्तानामार्तिहन्तारं भीतानां भीतिनाशनं द्विषतां कालदण्डन्तं रामचन्द्रं नमाम्यहम् नमः कोदण्डहस्ताय सन्धीकृतशराय च खण्डिताखिलदैत्याय रामायापन्निवारिणे रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः हयग्रीव हयग्रीव हयग्रीवेति यो वदेत् तस्य निस्सरते वाणी जह्नुकन्या प्रवाहवत् हयग्रीव हयग्रीव हयग्रीवेति वादिनं नरं मुञ्चन्ति पापानि दरिद्रमिव योषितः हयग्रीव हयग्रीव हयग्रीवेति यो ध्वनिः विशोभते स वैकुण्ठकवाटोद्घाटनक्षमः बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनूमत्स्मरणात् भवेत् मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि असाध्यसाधकस्वामिन् साध्यं तव किं वद रामदूतदयासिन्धो मत्कार्यं साधय प्रभो श्रीहरये नमः श्रीहरये नमः श्रीहरये नमः जानकीकान्तस्मरणं जय जय राम राम श्रीपतेः सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत समेत श्री रामचंद्र मूर्तेः अव्याज करुणया परमानुग्रहेण निचृद्दशदिन साध्य श्रीमद् वाल्मीकि रामायण पारायणं तदंगत्वेन उपन्यास अर्चनाभिषेकादि ब्रह्मसत्राख्य महायज्ञम् इदानीं प्रवर्तिष्यन् वर्तते। Purely by the grace of Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra Prabhu, as a part of the Ayodhya Mandira Prana Pratishtha, this Ramayana Navaha Yajnam is being offered to the lotus feet of the Bhagavan as a part of the Upanyasam, as a part of the Parayana Kramam. When we do it as a Navaha Parayana Krama, there are certain vidhi which have been given in the Ramayana Mahatmyam, in the last fifth chapter of the Ramayana Mahatmyam, there one of the Vidhi Krama says there has to be a Upanyasa or a Kathashravanam which should be done along with the Parayanam also. Along with the Parayanam, a Vishnu Sahasranama Archana should also be done, which is being done as you would have seen during the Parayanam. We have one of the Parayana Kartas also doing the Vishnu Sahasranama Archana. On the last day, we will have the Pattabhisheka, the Kalasha, which is done Sthapana here. In that, all the 9 days of the Parayana energy is all captured in that Kalasha Jala. That is being proposed that the Kalashabhishekam will be done to, Pattabhishekam will be done to Rama, and that Rama Tirtha Prasada will be taken by all of us. Once again, we invite all of you to tomorrow's Sundarakanda Parayanam, to the Rama Pattabhishekam, both through the online and through offline. You can come to our Bangalore Vyoma office and you can also participate in person in this Brahma Yajna. By his Sankalpa, as he decided and told us, and he is guiding us, Sri Sundarakandasya Navaratnani is the Shirshika on which we are having the Upanyasam. Today is the 5th day of the Upanyasam, and we saw the first Ratna, which was Tato Ravananitayaha Sitaya Shatrukarshanaha Yesha Padamanveshtum Charana Pathi. Hanuman decides to search for that Padam of Sita Mata, who is forcibly taken away by Ravana, and decides to travel through the Akasha Marga. Through 3 Vignas he passes through, and everybody is so astonished by his capability, by his determination, his commitment, his energy, his skills. All of these people are astonished, and the Charanas give him a certificate with 4 qualities, 4 degrees they give him. And they tell whoever possesses these 4 qualities will never fail in any task. And they give one more Mahamantra for us to follow every day. Yasya tvetani chatvari vanarendra yathatava smritir dhritir matir dakshyam sakarmasu nasidati. With this, Hanuman enters Lanka. As he comes to the Lanka, he does not feel any tiredness at all. He thinks, Anishvasya kapistatra naglani madhigachati shatanyaham yojananam krameyam subahunyapi kimpunas sagarasyantam sankhyatam shatayojanam. Thousands of yojanas leelaya. By my Guru's kripa I can cross. What is this 100 yojana? It is just like a Goshpadi. We say Goshpadi Krita Varashim. What is Goshpadi? When we see a cow, we have the cow's legs, and on the leg there is the mark which is there, the black hoof or whatever we call it. When that leg, let us say the cow is walking in a little bit muddy area, and the cow keeps its leg and takes it away, there is a small impression which is made. There is a small impression of a depression which is made. And in that, if water is stagnant, do we think twice before crossing it? Will we think, Arey, this is so much of millimeters, how will I cross? What will I do? Will we start with Sasuryaya, Mahendraya and all? No. So like this, Goshpadi Krita Varashim. So the entire Samudram was just like that water place of a Goshpada, and so Leelaya he crossed. And there Hanuman searches all the places thoroughly for around almost 10 chapters to 11 chapters. We see that he searches all the places multiple times, and still he is not able to find Sita Mata. And at that time, Hanuman also gets into depression. He keeps thinking, multiple times he keeps thinking, I came all the way, I couldn't see Sita Mata. What will I do? How will I handle this? He keeps telling it. And then at that time, in the 12th Sarga, he gives us one more Mahamantra. This is after searching all the each basement, each place, even if there are doors which are closed, he opens those doors and sees. If there are doors which are open, he closes it and sees. He goes to the basement, he goes to the terrace, he goes to the side, he goes to the main, on the trees, in the bhavanas, under the table, to the any almirah or cupboard which is there, he sees it. So everywhere he sees. And while seeing all this, he even is so surprised by the wealth of Ravana. And at that time, there is one more Mahamantra which is taught, but which is not part of this 9 Ratna. But elders have told us that in any Upanyasa, at least once you have to tell that shloka and only then go ahead. That shloka is like this: Ya hi Vaishravane Lakshmi, Ya Chendre Harivahane, Saravana Grihe Sarva, Nityamevana या च राज्ञः कुबेरस्य यमस्य वरुणस्य वा तादृशी तद्विशिष्टा वा रिद्धिरक्षो गृहेष्विह. So this is a shloka which by chanting every day, along with there is one more shloka: Swargoyam devalokoyam indrasyeyam puri bhavet siddhirveyam parahi syat Ityamanyatamarutihi. These 3 shlokas, if we chant every day, the place where we chant and for the place where we chant will be full of Aishwarya, Samriddhi, prosperity, wealth. All these will be in abundance. That is the blessings of elders. So, telling that shloka, he continues the search. And as he continues the search, he sees that Janakatmaja, Janaka Nandini, Mithilatmaja is not to be seen anywhere. And he gets fully into despair and he sits in one place. At that time, by the grace of Ramachandra Prabhu, he motivates himself and gives a support to himself by telling this shloka. Anirveda Shriyo Moolam, Anirveda Param Sukham, Anirvedo hi satatam sarvartheshu pravartakaha. There is another shloka which comes along with this only and which should be chanted together, which is Karoti saphalam jantoho karma yattat karoti saha tasmadanirvedakaram yatnam cheshtehamuttamam bhuyastavad vicheshyami Deshan Ravana Palitan. So, this is a Mahamantra given by Hanuman, which he tells himself and he tells it to us also. What is the general meaning? We will see. Then we will try to see the background of this shloka. We will also try to see why this shloka is so important during Hanuman's time and why this shloka is so important today, especially in this age or in this century, in this year where we are. This shloka is probably the most important shloka amongst all what we are looking at. Why it is, we will see those points. Anirvedaha. Nirvedaha means being dejected, being depressed, losing hope and sitting. So Anirvedaha means being free from despair, having energy, zeal, enthusiasm, courage, all of this together when we bring in, that is called Anirvedaha. What does this Anirvedaha signify? It is Shriyaha Moolam. If we have to get real prosperity, a permanent prosperity, non-decaying prosperity, which encompasses health, wealth, everything together, for that one of the basic qualities, parameters required is Anirvedaha. Anirveda Shriyo Moolam. It is the root of prosperity. Anirveda Param Sukham. Anirveda is the supreme happiness. It is the cause of supreme happiness. Sometimes small things we can do with small energies, but with lot of hope, if you have to get greatest of sadhanas, if you have to do great achievements, we will have to cross great obstacles. And to cross those great obstacles, you need this Anirveda. Anirvedo hi satatam, always sarvartheshu pravartakah. Artha here signifies any activity, objectivity, wealth, any cause, reason, everything. Arthasya nanarthaha bhavishyanti. This word artha has nanartha. So here it signifies all of these. Any work, any activity, whatever we are going to start, if you have to start, if you have to restart, if you have to reopen, replay, repromote, whatever, for that all that Anirvedaha is required. Anirvedo hi satatam sarvartheshu pravartakaha. Very beautifully, three messages, powerful messages. Shriyaha Moolam, the root of development, wealth, prosperity is Anirvedaha. Param Sukham, not ordinary Sukham, Param Sukham. For that, Anirvedaha is the most important, it is the root. Sarvartheshu Satatam, in all works, always, not even, it's not just once, always, all works, in all ways, W-A-Y-S, all, A-double-L, ways. Also, Anirvedaha eva pravartakaha, it is the trigger, it is the cause, it is the leader, it is the driver which ensures all of this. That is why Anirveda Shriyo Moolam, Anirvedah Param Sukham, Anirvedo hi Satatam, Sarvartheshu Pravartakaha. And then he also gives one more mantra along with that. These are all what Hanuman is telling himself in his mind, but he is telling all of us and teaching us. Today is Mangala Guruvara. It is the most Guru Vasara, and Hanuman is sitting as a teacher and giving us these lessons directly to us. Karoti saphalan jantoho karma yattat karoti saha tasmad anirveda karam. One more patha is Anirveda Kritam, Anirveda Karam, Yatnancheshte Hamuttamam. So, Karoti Saphalam Jantoho Karma. Yat Karma, that action which any living being, Jantu, it can be any living being. It need not be only Manushya, Manava, any Jantu. If it does any action, that action will bear some fruit. Yat karma saha karoti, tasya phalam bhavishyateva. So that is the first statement. Yat karma karoti, jantoho yat bhavishyati, tat saphalam bhavishyati. Astuva. Saha yat karoti, tat saphalam bhavishyati. So any activity, if we do, it will never go vritha, waste actually. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Parthasarathi says, Durgatim tata gacchati. So even a smallest swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat, he also says, whatever small activities, whatever we do, any activity, it will have its fruit, and we have to take care of the benefits of the fruit we have to enjoy. So then what does it mean here in this situation? How Hanuman takes it is, Tasmat Anirvedakaram Yatnam. I will put my effort. How half-hearted, or let me see what happens, I am challenging, or no, nothing like that. Anirvedakaram, with lot of hope, with lot of energy, with more energy. Just like people give the example of a mud ball and a rubber ball. So how we should be is, when somebody puts a mud ball down, it breaks. But when we put a rubber ball, kanduka patena, just like that, it will bounce back with more zeal, more energy, it will bounce back. The more force you put it down, the more force it will come up. Tasmad anirveda karam yatnam cheshte, I will do the effort. Aham yatnam cheshte, kidrisham yatnam. Uttamam yatnam, my best effort. Till now I have been not doing, I've only done a better effort. Now let me put my best effort. That is the sankalpa which Hanuman takes. And then this is a general sankalpa. What is that specific task? So he gives a principal statement, then he does a general sankalpa, then he takes a specific goal. So vision, mission, goal, what we have in our life today. Bhuyastavad vicheshyami deshan ravana palitan. He has searched already so many times, but still he tells himself, let me again and again. If anything is left out, I'll search that place. If anything is searched, I will search it again and again till I get my fruit. Bhuyaha, again and again. Tavat vicheshyami, I will search. Deshan Ravana Palitan, all that place which is being ruled by Ravana, let me search that. So this couplet actually becomes one. But in the Navaratna, as the elders have given, they have given the first shloka, which is Anirveda Shriyo Moolam, Anirveda Param Sukham, Anirvedo hi Satatam, Sarvartheshu Pravartakaha. So, as we said, the background, Hanuman searches every place. He sees the wealth of Ravana. He sees the Pushpaka Vimana. The Chandrodaya Varnanam is also done. He sees all the Rakshasas doing various kind of activities. Some of them doing some homa, some of them doing dance, some of them practicing warfare, army and other things. He sees the army. He sees the Antapura. All of this he sees, and still he does not get Sita Mata. That is when he tells this. Now, what is the, in this entire shloka, like all the previous shloka, we had multiple words of focus. Here we have a single word focus, which is Anirvedaha. Very, very most powerful word. And this word, I think we should all take a printout and keep it in our place. And whenever we feel a little bit down, or if something happens, we should just see that and remember Hanuman in a foreign nation going alone without even knowing the place, without even having a GPS, without even having any idea about anything, just a small information that Sita Mata is here. He is searching this Giri, Vana, Durga, all these places, the roughest terrain with the most fiercest of the Rakshasas. He is going there. After so many times, still he is able to tell this shloka and do that motivation to himself. Why? Self-motivation is the best motivation. Self can be both we doing ourselves. Other than that, self is within the Atma. We have Bhagavan sitting, and Bhagavan's motivation is the best motivation. So, Anirvedaha, the word has multiple connotations. Non-depression, absence of any sort of dejection, being fully self-reliant, being confident in ourselves, having that confidence in myself that I can do this. That is the that is Anirveda. Fully filled with hope, undauntedness, not being daunted, overwhelmed, but being fully confident. So, like somebody told, elderly person told, we can lose anything in our life. We will not lose anything. But when we lose hope, we lose everything. So Anirvedaha is the most important message which we get from this Ratna. This Anirveda, where else this has been used? Why is it so important? Hanuman told this to himself, but is there somewhere else also it has been used? Can you tell us more about the importance of this Anirveda even before this? This thought also came to Hanuman by his tapashakti and by Ramanugraha. But where did this originate? If we see, just like we saw Tato Ravana Nitayaha, all the shlokas origin in Kishkinda Kanda, today's Parayanam, which happened today, there all the four directions Vanaras have been sent. Dakshinadik, they search for a long time. They aren't able to find Sita Mata. Angada is afraid of Sugrivagya. Sugrivagya is very simple. You either complete or you can completely go to Yama's place. Very simple. That is Sugriva's Agya. So at that time, everybody is so afraid. The southern direction monkeys. Angada, as a leader of that team, motivates all of them. Anirvedancha dakshyancha manasascha karya siddhi karanyahu tasmade tadbravimyaham. For any karya siddhi, just like yasyatvetani chatvari, at that moment he defines these three things. Angada tells us: Anirvedam, Dakshyam, Manasaschaparajayah, which is very similar to Anirvedam. Not losing hope and energy, Dakshyam, skills and our capability, and Manasaschaparajayah, by our manas, we should never accept defeat. We may be broken, battered, shattered by physically, whatever may happen, financially, socially, anything can happen. But mentally, spiritually, if we are strong, that manasascha parajaya, if that is taken care, then karya siddhi karani ahuhu. Jeshtaha vadanti. The elders tell these are karya siddhi karani, which make a karya as successful. Tasmat, people tell, therefore I am also telling this word. Angada has already put that seed of this word in everybody's mind, including Hanuman. So, where did that sprout and give its fruit? Was in the 12th chapter of Sundarakanda. Anirveda Shriyo Moolam, Anirvedah Param Sukham, Anirvedo hi Satatam, Sarvartheshu Pravartakaha. Similarly, you are only giving Ramayana examples, Mahodaya. Show it to us in Mahabharata, where you have example. Whether it is so important, yes, it is very important even in Mahabharata. After the 18 days of war, when Yudhishthira wins the war, he actually loses himself. He is in so much of dejection and dukkha, seeing all his loved ones in the battlefield who have already abandoned their life. And at that time, when he is full and some time passes in that, and at that time they all come to Bhishma. Bhishmacharya is lying in the Sharatalpa, the bed of arrows. At that time, all the munis, sages, Narada, Kashyapa, many other sages also come there. Devala, all these rishis come and stand there. And at that time, all the questions Yudhishthira asks Bhishma, and Bhishma gives his entire multi-generational, multi-teacher wisdom, what he has gathered, and which he has also experienced through experience. All of this, he just showers it upon Yudhishthira, Panchapandavas, and all the people who are there. All of this gets documented in a parva called as Shanti Parva. And within that parva, actually, there are three important parvas. In each parva, there are upaparvas which are there. In Shanti Parva, when we see Rajadharma Anushasana Parva, that has around 130 chapters. Apadharma Anushasana Parva, again around 40 to 43 chapters. Moksha Dharma Parva. So all these three upaparvas are there in Shanti Parva. And within that, the second one, Apadharma Anushasana. In times of apat, how should we behave? In times of adversity, how should we be? That is that portion of around 43 chapters in the Mahabharata. One of the most relevant portions is the entire Shanti Parva, and this portion which is there in today's times, when we have an economic crisis, when we have a market crash, when we have so many things going on around the world, these parvas, this knowledge is very useful. So there in that Gridha Jambuka Samvada, Bhishma explains to Arjuna in Yudhishthira, Shunupartha Pravakshyami Puranam. That is how this chapter starts, and there he maintains that he explains this Anirvedas sada karyaha nirvedat hi kutas sukham prayatnat prapyate hyartha kasmad gacchata nirdayaha. So, Anirvedaha sada karyaha. Always and always and always there is no reason to get despaired or depressed or disappointed. Because nirvedat kuta sukham, we are all human beings, and our only purpose in life, finally, if we multiply or if we just accumulate all the objectives of everybody, all of this will come and stand in one bindu. Like a Meru Parvata, you put all purpose, goals, objectives, visions, everything of every 8 billion individuals in this earth. On top of that, one bindu or single answer will be there, which encompasses is happiness. Now, nirvedat sukham kutah bhavishyati, katham bhavishyati. You will not get happiness by sitting in despair. You can only get that happiness in anirvedaha. Therefore, anirveda sada karyaha. That is what Bhishma tells Yudhishthira. Now, one more question. Why is this Anirveda so important, Mahodaya? Because to get that happiness, the sub objective of all human beings is health. Shariram adyam khalu dharma sadhanam. With absolute health, we can achieve anything. If health is not maintained, then it is very difficult to do any activity or even get that happiness. Okay, very good. What does that health and this Anirveda have in connection, Mahodaya? We start from our own Panchakosha Vidya, which we saw in last 2 days. So we have this list, which we already know. Somebody asked for this list, so I just thought of putting it in the slide. Annamaya Kosha, which is the most gross, you can touch, feel, everything you can see. Annamaya Kosha, the physical layer of existence. Pranamaya Kosha, the vital energy, Pancha Mahapranas, the pranas, and Pancha Upapranas, 10 pranas are there. So Hridi Prano Gude Panaha Samanam Nabhi Mandale Vyanam tu Samanam Kantadeshasyat Vyanam Sarva Sharirakam. So each prana has a place where the pranas operate, and the Pancha Pranas have a task specific which prana will take our Sharira and go when we leave this Sharira. All those are very specifically fixed. So all that forms the part of the Pranamaya Kosha. The next is the Manomaya Kosha, the mental layer of existence. Everything which is happening in the mind, there is a place where all things are happening. That is Manomaya Kosha. And then the intellectual understanding which is happening, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and the blissful layer, which is what we are. All of us are naturally the Atma Swarupins. Like Swami Vivekananda told, all of you are already spiritual beings. You just have to realize that you are spiritual. It is just a matter of few split seconds when that realization comes. For that split second to happen, multiple janmas are taken till we reach and go in that Sopana Marga. For some sadhakas, it can happen earlier. Now, what is the connection to what we are telling is, what the question, one more sub question is, where does unhealthiness or disease start from? Does it start from Annamaya Kosha? Does it start from the Pranamaya Kosha? Does it start from the Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, or Anandamaya Kosha? Where does it start from? So, the disease what we are talking, there are two types, Adhi, Vyadhi. Sarve Vyadhayaha Adhijataha. Adhijaha is one statement. That is, all diseases have their starting point in Adi itself. And Adi is any mental afflictions. Which is why even today in traditional medicine systems, they try to solve the mental related areas, and automatically healing starts from inward, and the physical disease or unhealthiness goes away. So, Manomaya Kosha is the center kosha, which if taken properly care of, we will not get any health issues, and therefore we will be able to achieve all the tasks. We will be able to achieve the real happiness in our life. So therefore, Anirveda Shriyo Moolam, Anirveda Param Sukham, Anirvedo hi Satatam, Sarvartheshu Pravartakaha. So at that Manomaya Kosha, we should never lose hope. We should be very strong in the mental state. And this mental strength, thousands of examples and miracles doctors give even today, where what they could not do through the Annamaya Kosha level, God solved miraculously, they tell. But what happened is all of them got healed at the Manomaya Kosha level itself. And to heal everything from the Manomaya Kosha and to bring that healthiness to, it is a medicine which is given to us, is this shloka. Anirveda Shriyo Moolam, Anirveda Param Sukham, Anirvedo hi Satatam, Sarvartheshu Pravartakaha. Around 5 years ago, when Bhagavan had taken us to the United States of America, in one of the places in San Jose, they actually gave a problem statement to us. Till then, we did not know much about this problem, where they said that in the United States and in many other parts of the world also, this mental depression or mental unhealthiness is very, very rampant. And the challenge or the question they asked was, do you have some solution from your traditional wisdom? From Ramayana, you tell keep doing Parayanam. If we do Parayanam, will everything be solved? Can you solve this health issue which is there so rampant? People are getting mentally affected, which is causing lot of disturbances in their physical condition. And sometimes people take not so right decisions about their health also, about their life itself. Some statistics are there. We would not want to tell these statistics from a Vyasapitha, because it is a very sensitive and not so encouraging, not so mangala information which is there. But we should know that there is a problem where lot of people are actually having some trouble with the mental health, mental state of mind. A very huge number is given, and this is spread across multiple countries. It is spread across genders, across ages, and it has multiple ways of showing itself. Different English words are used here. And this slide may be very, very troubling us in many ways when we see something like this. But this is happening. And since people are telling us that this is happening, we have to give a solution for it. What is the solution for this? Anirveda Shriyo Moolam, Anirveda Param Sukham, Anirvedo hi Satatam, Sarvartheshu Pravartakaha. So many people are taking not so correct decisions about their life. This so powerful, so invaluable life, people are actually taking wrong decisions. Here in this, we can see age wise, and we can see that young people or even adolescent young people are not being guided in the right way, so that they can come out of these kind of nirveda situations. So, and this has a great impact on the social part of the world. It also has an impact on the financial part of the world. There are economic consequences of this mental health also. So then, what can something be done about this situation, Mahodaya? First question. If something can be done, can you do something from Ramayana? From Ramayana, from your Navaratna, can you tell us something through which this can be solved, which can be a technique or tool to solve all of this? Yes. What is that? So when we go through these reports and when we talk to experts, they tell that these kind of symptoms are almost 80 to 90% treatable. Just because it has not been treated or addressed in those people, they take those tough decisions. But if it is given some right medicines, when I say medicine, it is not capsules and other things, right interventions, then this is absolutely treatable and solvable. So in the same reports, the WHO report, AFSP report, American Foundation for Prevention, all these reports, they themselves give the techniques how to handle this. In that they say detection, early detection, diagnosis, diagnose it for yourself or for others, and treat it with the right interventions. So first thing is there is an awareness. Here we see that Hanuman is aware that he is not able to get Sita Mata and he is getting disappointed, depressed, and he is detecting the problem, and then he actually is thinking what will happen and what is the problem which will happen, and he tries to come out of it. So in these kind of situation, when we, if there are people and we talk to them and we give them examples of people who have gone through difficulties, one of the greatest prayojanam of Ramayanam, Mahabharatam, which our elders keep telling is, whenever you are in difficult situation, read Ramayanam, that situation will go away, they tell. What happens is, when we read and we see that difficulty which a Sita Mata, which a Yudhishthira, which a Draupadi, which all of them went through, what we are going through is absolutely nothing. We are just creating everything out of our mind, making it appear as if it is big and trying to do a big performance out of it. So that is what we realize for ourselves, and we will come to normal and say, okay, let me handle it. And this shloka will come to our own mind. Anirveda shriyo moolam, anirveda param sukham, anirvedo hi satatam, sarvartheshu pravartakah. So at that time, we can tell our friends and generations that, see, Hanuman went through this. Sita Mata went through this. Vanaras went through this. Who are we? Of course, but they went through something more. We are not even going through something, even 1% of what they are going through. And if they can come out, they will bless us also to come out of this kind of a situation. Which Hanuman are we talking about? That Hanuman who was most powerful among all the best of Hanumans. Vanara Yutha Mukhyam, that Hanuman who crossed the ocean, that Hanuman whom every day we pray, we give 7 adjectives to that Hanuman. Which Hanuman? Manojavam, Maruta Tulyavegam, Jitendriyam, Buddhimatam Varishtham, Vatatmajam, Vanara Yutha Mukhyam, Shri Ramadutam. 7 adjectives, and we do Namaskaram, Sharanam Prapadye to that Hanuman. That Hanuman, just by thinking of him, you don't need to do an elaborate puja. You don't need to tell Hanumat Sahasranama. You don't need to read the entire Sundarakandam. You don't need to tell a shloka also. You don't need to open your mouth and tell something. Just in your mind, let us think Hanumat Smaranat. By thinking about Hanuman, what is that list? Laundry list we are getting. Buddhihi, Balam, Yashaha, Dhairyam, Nirbhayatvam, Arogata, Ajadyam, Vakpatutvancha, 8 things. That Hanuman who had Ashta Siddhis is giving us all these 8 things just by thinking about Hanuman. That is the powerful Hanuman, and such a Hanuman who also crossed all these Vignas, Mainaka, Surasa, Simhika, Lankini, and he came. And that Hanuman went into a low phase of situation. He went into a depressed mode. He went into a low confidence, low energy time. And at that time, he got the Ramanugraham and the shloka as a Maha Mantra, which he gives it as a message to us. Anirveda Shriyo Moolam, Anirveda Param Sukham, Anirvedo hi Satatam, Sarvartheshu Pravartakaha. Karoti saphalam jantoho, कर्म यत्तत् करोति सः तस्मादनिर्वेदकरं यत्नं चेष्टेऽहमुत्तमं भूयस्तावद्विचेष्यामि देशान् रावणपालितान्. Now let us see what our Bhashyakaras are telling in their Bhashya about this shloka. Govindarajar in the Bhushana Vyakhyana says, Chiram Nirveda Karya Hanihi. Nirveda is always Chiram. What it does? Karya Hani. Nirveda, despair, leads to Karya, the destruction of work. Therefore, Anirvedaha avalambate. Therefore, let me adopt or resort to hope, energy, motivation, getting up myself. Let me adopt that. Is the background or is the state of mind of Hanuman. And Anirveda is Utsaha. When you get that hope, automatically you will get an energy. When something is not going well and we are sitting and suddenly somebody tells that let us think alternatively, there should be something positive in this, Mahodaya, let us think like this. Yes, actually, you know what, that person that day told me like this is good only, this whatever is happening now is good only, let us look at this. Suddenly we feel that. Simple examples, we can see that a 3-hour traffic is a problem. We may get dejected. We may say, what is this? How will I go to work? I will not work from today at all. But alternatively, we can see that 3 hour as a time to think about Bhagavan Rama, do a japa manana, listen to the parayanas, and do lot of things. And it is probably the best me time you will get. Otherwise, we'll always be around. Even do a mauna sadhana, that is a time. So every event in life, if there is some negative connotation to it, not so positive connotation to it, we can actually bring the positive connotation when we bring hope and energy. That is what is told in this Tatsarvam. So whenever somebody gets that hope, energy, automatically yat karoti jantuhu tat sarvam karma, that Anirveda eva sapalam karoti. Very powerful statement Govindaraja says, that sarvam karma saha anirvedaha eva sapalam karoti. This hope itself actually will finish your task. That is the kind of importance the word Anirveda is given to by Govindaraja. Govindaraja in the Bhushana Vyakhyana. So that is when he decides, Punarvicheshyami, I will again search. Nagesha Bhattar in the Tilaka Vyakhyana gives it as a golden embeddable template. Just print out, put it in gold and stick it into our drawing room. Anirvedakaram utsaha jananam yatnam chittasthairyam cheshte karomi. Chittasthairyam, the absolute steadfastness of my brain, mind, buddhi, manas, everything together is caused by Anirveda, and that kind of an activity I will do. Cheshte aham karomi. I am going to do this. So this is a vakya to ourselves. Whenever we read it, I am going to follow Anirveda, and that Anirveda is going to give me steadfastness in everything. That is the positive affirmation. Today, one book secret goes into millions of copies. Such thousands of secrets are sitting in our Sundarakandam and is told by Hanuman. Shivasahayar in the Shiromani Vyakhyana tells, Utsahasya sampatti moolam upapadayan. Utsaha sampatti moolam. This is the root of all sampatti. In all activities, sarvartheshu nikhila kartavyeshu pravartakaha saha anirvedaha yat karma jantuhu karoti tat jantoho karma saphalam karoti. Tadartham yatnam aham karomi. I will put more efforts. I will take actions. I will not sit in one place. Karma is better than action, is better than inaction. In Gita, he says, akarmam instead of akarma, karma is better, Krishna says. Similarly, whatever it is, let us do some activity. It will take us somewhere. The machine keeps rolling. The wheel keeps rolling. Adrishta deshan vicheshyami. This is the bhashya which all the our bhashyakaras are giving. Therefore, anirveda shriyo moolam, anirvedah param sukham, anirvedo hi satatam, sarvartheshu pravartakah, karoti saphalam jantoho, karma yat tat karoti sah, tasmat anirveda kritam, yatnam cheshte aham uttamam, bhuyastavad vicheshyami, Deshan Ravana Palitan. And then when he tells this Mahamantra, Hanuman gets the Spuranam or the spark, the energy of the next Mahamantra, which is the fourth Ratna, which all of us have been chanting very relentlessly in all the Dhyana shlokas in the Parayana. All of us know this mantra. Let us chant it together. Namostu Ramaya Salakshmanaya Devyai cha tasyai Janakatmajayai Namostu Rudrendra Yamanilebhyah Namostu Chandrarkamarudganebhyah. So in the 12th Sarga, we saw that the Sarga name itself is Hanuman Nirvedaha. Hanuman in a despair situation. He tells the Anirveda mantra and then he goes through a lot of emotions. And in the 13th Sarga, in the 59th Shloka, he arrives at this Maha Mantra. What happened in between? Let us see. After that Anirveda Shloka, Hanuman tells, I will put my bestest of effort. That is okay, even if we put two superlatives together. He decides, I will do this. And he puts that effort and he goes ahead. And what he starts? Apanashalaha vichitaha. Banquet halls are there. Pushpagrihanicha. There are even Pushpagriha where flowers are being grown and stored. Chitrashalaha. We have Chitrakala Parishat. Art galleries are there. So many people think all these paintings and all have come recently. Here we are talking about very professional galleries which are there in Ramayana Kala. This is Treta Yuga. That is, one Kali Yuga itself is 432. Dwapara is 2 times 864. And then 3 times of that is Treta Yuga. Lakhs of thousands of years before Chitrashalaha. So these 64 kalas were prevalent. This is a proof. Chitrashalag chalascha vichitaha. So bhuya kridagrihanicha. Kridagriha, sporting places. Today we are selling all these tennis academies, cricket academies, all these gymnasiums have come. All those were there during Ramayana Kala itself. And all these places Hanuman is searching. Nishkutantararatyascha vimanani cha sarvashah. All types of planes, vimanas, Pushpaka, including other smaller ones are all there. Pushpaka may be the 777 Boeing. The other smaller ones will also be there. Just a drishtanta, that's all. And all the chariots which are there, all the gardens, mansions, all of this he's searching again and again. Iti sanchintya bhuyopi vichetumupchakrame bhumi grihans chaitya grihan griha ati grihakanapi. So bhumi grihan, basement, we told you. Even the basement he goes down and he sees everywhere. Chaitya grihan, there are secret cells which are there. He sees all of those. Temples he sees. There are temples, arch which are there. All that he sees. Griha, full open houses which are there. Sometimes there are big houses or entrances. Within that there are smaller houses. Within that there are smaller houses. Griha, ati griha kanapi. He continues to search all this. Then utpatan nishpatanschapi tishthan gachan punah punah. So he is sitting. Suddenly he thinks, probably I am not seeing properly. Let me jump and see once. Utpatan nishpatanschapi. I am not seeing properly. He dunks himself. He just bends himself and sees it. Then he says, probably I am standing in one place and searching. Let me start walking. Tishthan, gachan, standing, walking. Punah punah. He tries all this. See the determination of Hanuman. How to do the sadhana. All of this. Apavrinvanscha dwarani kavatan yavaghatayan. So those doors which are closed, he sees. We think door is closed, nothing will be inside. No, open it and see it. Sometimes open door, okay, everything is fine, but he will again close that door and see if something in the side or somewhere, some secret door is there within that also. Apavrinvanscha dwarani kavatanyavaghatayan pravishan nishpatanschapi. There is a, let us say there is a room. He will go inside once, see it. Not, he will do all the jumping, standing, running. He will see again. Then he will exit. And again from outside he will see again. Pravishan nishpatanschapi. Again, prapatannutpatannapi sarvamapyavakasham sa vichachara mahakapihi. Again and again and again he is motivating himself that till Sita Mata is seen, I will not stop. How much? Let us say there is one entire Lanka. You know what is the width of Sri Lanka today? In that Chatur Angulaha. Angulaha is the space in the four fingers is called as Angula. Chatur Angula Matropi. That space between four fingers. Like whenever our house, when we are doing cooking, and how much of water we have to keep in that rice place, we just see. They say almost chaturangula till here. That kind of a chaturangula matropi navakashassa vidyate. Even that much of space he didn't leave. He didn't see that Sita Mata is so brihat. How can she be here? No logics are used here. Unnecessary intelligence he is not using. Ravanantah pure tasmin yam kapirna jagamasaha. He does all this, and then he gets into a little bit of low energy, and at that time again he decides, no, I will give up my life. If I give up my life, if I go back and tell a not so good news, it may not be helpful for people, so I will give up my life. That is what he says. But at that time he starts analyzing. He thinks that if I now take a wrong decision about my life, either I go and tell a wrong news, or if I don't go, what will happen? Sita nimittam durvakyam shrutva sana bhavishyati tam tu krichra gatam drishtva panchatva gatamanasam. This will directly affect Rama's life. And if Rama's life is affected, Lakshmana gets affected. If Lakshmana Bharatopi marishyati Shatrughno na bhavishyati na bhavishyanti mataraha. So each of these, one shloka, the entire sarga Valmiki is giving. Why is Valmiki doing all this? This is how the thinking should happen, that if some decision is taken by me, it is going to affect so many people around me. That thought itself should prevent people from taking not so right decisions about their life. That is what Hanuman is doing and showing it to us. Na bhavishyanti mataraha. These are all there. Satya Sandaha. Sugriva has promised, I will help and search Sita. If his Satya is not taken care, then Sugriva will take some wrong decision. If Sugriva takes a wrong decision, Ruma, who is the wife, Tara, Angada, Vanaras, all of them will take up some wrong decision. And then again, he thinks about all this, but again that low confidence comes. He says, Chitam kritva pravekshyami. I will take a wrong decision. He thinks about all options, because there are certain options which are not allowed by Shastras. And that is when he thinks this Niryanam is there, wherein one can fast themselves and do a yogic sadhana. That may be allowed by yogis. Let me adopt that marga. Idam maharshi birdrishtam niryanamiti me matihi. But why should I do that? What is the reason? Am I in that yoga sadhana? Am I in that phase of life? Have I got that realization? That is a different situation altogether. This is like examination fear, just like Arjuna got that Vishada. So all this, he again goes into it. Like even in this, when we see, very important point is put in this prevention. Each wrong decision affects at least 6 other people. This is based on a survey. So we should be very careful as what decision we take about our life and how happy or healthy we keep ourselves, not for ourselves, but at least for people around us. Vinashe bahavo doshaha. There is lot of problems by vinasha. Jivan bhadrani pashyati. But by staying alive, we may always have some success at least. Therefore, tasmat pranandarishyami jivo dhruvo jivati sangamaha. He tells himself. And he actually muhurtamiva dhyatva udatishtan mahatejaha. He regains his senses. Arey, what did I think for at this time? How am I thinking of all these things? I will get up. And he starts praying to all the Bhagavans. Devaha, Rishiganaha, Brahma, Swayambhu, Vayu, Puruhuta, Varuna, Somaditya, Ashvinau, Marutaha. All of them he starts praying. He sees that Ashoka Vanam just in front of him, and just after seeing the Ashoka Vanam, he decides that let me go into this. Before going, let me do namaskara to my Aradhya Devata. Namostu Ramaya Salakshmanaya Devyai cha tasyai janakatmajayai. Namostu Rudrendra Yamanilebhyah. Namostu Chandrarkamarudganebhyah. So what is the technique which Hanuman adopted to take himself out of a not so easy situation, from a difficult situation, from his depression? What did he do? He paused. A pause can help in life sometimes. Sometimes in that moment, some wrong decision may be taken. But if we just pause, two sargas are given only for this. Think of the consequences, what may happen. We saw the list. Take help from people around. If people are not there, take help from Bhagavan. Manushya Prayatna, Daivanugraha. From that, we get all of this. So, therefore, all of the scriptures give us this kind of a technique for us to follow. And this Mahamantra, two main Mahamantras which are linked to each other and which we can use in all our situations to get all our sadhanas is Anirveda Shriyo Moolam, Anirvedah Param Sukham, Anirvedo hi Satatam, Sarvartheshu Pravartakaha. नमोस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यः नमोस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. There are a few questions. Feel free to send these questions to my email ID vishwam@vyomalabs.in. VISHWAM vishwam@vyomalabs.in. I will try to answer it in whatever little knowledge possible. I will try to answer it. Otherwise, we will check with elders and try to give the answers. Generally, all shloka references we are giving. Please let me know which shloka you didn't get reference. We will help you with. Karma, we will try to explain it in some time. There was one question on Varsha, the Sapta Varsha, that is within the Dvipa Bharata Varshe. Varsha means a Pradesha. That was in one of the previous classes, that question was there. Somebody asked about the Bhuta Sankhya's. I have shared it. And any other question, please mail us. We will try to answer it in some time. Because lack of time, we won't be able to take those, but we will at least try to answer it through email, so that it can be beneficial. Ananta namaskaraha, dhanyavadaha. Our heartfelt thanks that on this, during the afternoon, so many people are joining and participating in this Mahayagna and blessing us. We are grateful to everybody. Ram Ram.